Hello, Internet. Come on in, come on in. I am going to be reviewing. Perplexity has a accelerator program. It is a $1 million accelerator program. $1 million bands. Oh my goodness. I haven't gone for $1 million yet. I've never competed for $1 million. But you know what the thing is too, and here's the asterisk. All right. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Everybody who's hopping in here, okay? This is Perplexity has a accelerator program that they have, and I was like, oh, let me check this out real quick. It says compete for up to $1 million seed investment, but the asterisk, this is why you gotta be looking at this, John, too, is that it is split among 3 winners, right? It's split among 3 people. So it ain't just it ain't just you. It ain't just you. So I know people who gonna see that, they're gonna be like, what, you can make $1 million? No, you're gonna make you can make up to $333,000. That's what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's this competition where it starts April 14th, which is in 4 days. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, am I gonna do this? Because I just applied for an accelerator program to build my product. But you basically on the 14th have to start building, and then on June 2nd you have to submit the thing that you built. So you have 8 weeks to build the product. You got 8 weeks to build the product, and then on June 5th they announce the top 10 teams. All right, and then those top 10 teams have to then pitch live on June 9th, and then the next day the winners are announced. I gotta look at the terms and conditions. We are going to use the product that I'm building to determine if this is gonna be a good idea for me. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. All right, if you have never seen it before, all right, I gotta see. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I be doing. I have built the software that I'm building. I built it for the sole purpose of helping me win opportunities. So I've been like, oh, wait, hold up. I could apply for opportunities to pay for the software that I'm making for opportunities with the information that I got in the software for opportunities. That's meta. Bro, what? That is so meta. I'm souped. Okay. So we're gonna see what it looked like. All right. So I gotta figure out I gotta figure out how to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna wait, what was that? I don't know where you came from. Listen to you or something? I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna delete you just in case. Okay. Let's get a dashboard real quick. Cause I was literally just talking to somebody about like the fact that I was going to use Perplexity to build the research element, because I heard that their research is really well. I haven't tried Perplexity at all, but if you have never heard of it, it is a large language model, kind of like, it's another version of chat. So okay, hold up. Bird. Okay. So I'm still building out the prototype for the product, but I want to show you what it looks like so that you can be like, oh, what? This is what it is? Yeah, this is what it is. This is what me I build. Hey, what, tired already? I feel like I'm tired already. It's too early for all that yawning, Queena. Oh no, it's 9:38. My body knows because my bedtime is at 10. My bedtime is at 10. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys what the product does. All right. So it's pretty simple, it's actually pretty fire though. What happens is that you copy and paste the opportunity, right? So I just copied and pasted the link from Perplexity. Not into this is just a demo, but you copy and paste the link, you put it inside of the software, right? And I go through an entire research, right? I do all of the research on the opportunity to understand everything about the funder, the position that they're in, the people they've rewarded in the past, go through their YouTube channel, read their transcripts, news articles. I mean, everything. And these are all the things, by the way, that I would typically be researching whenever I'm submitting for opportunities. I learn everything I can. And then you get a dashboard. And that dashboard is going to give you not only all the eligibility criteria, the main things in order for you to apply, but it's going to give you insights about what is going to make a successful application. Okay. Now, I'm a creative, and one of the things that it told me, because it knew the fact that I'm a creative, is that deep science dominates, but creative is the differentiator, right? So, there's not a lot of people who get it as a creative, so they just give me more information so that I'm able to submit with greater confidence. Okay. So I'm going to show you the one that I have for Perplexity, because that's the one that's getting built out right now. I think the thing is that I think what do you call that, John? I promise I'm gonna go to sleep early tonight. I wanted to build my Legos, but somebody sent me this $1 million pitch competition. So I was like, oh, now I gotta check it out. Now I gotta see what's up. You feel me? Because we gotta see what's up. Because it's like I really want to build the product quickly, but I don't want to just build it quickly. I want to build it appropriately, and I've never, AI is obviously opening up a lot of opportunities for people where it's like you could build something very quickly, but like doing it fast doesn't mean that you're doing it efficiently, it does not mean that that's what you're doing. So being able to kind of understand what this is, and there's a bit of information here about it. It's giving some context about what it is, but essentially you register. I have to have a pro account by April 13th. And I was literally just telling my lawyer that I was like, yo, it's odd that I was having this conversation with the lawyer, but like I was telling him how like I have so many subscriptions. I was like, yo, I got so many subscriptions at this point. I done got, what I mean, everywhere. So as soon as I started, doing this like content stuff or whatever, running a business, now I just got subscription after subscription. That's why people tell you to make a subscription business, because ain't nothing but, ain't no shortage of anybody going for subscriptions, right? But if you do know anything about AI and code and things like that, you could use the product that I'm about to show you in order for you to be able to build your company. And they're doing it pretty strategically too, because one, if like you have to build the company first and then you submit the product and they choose the top 10 finalists. I don't know how many people are going to build it, and how many people are going to get into the competition. I'll be one of them, maybe. And also depending on the price, because you have to build the product in it, which means that like it's going to cost you, the money in order for you to build it, in hopes that you're going to be able to win the money. But I also know that like I want to build the product because I want it to work. So, if that's the case, but I'm like, I build the entire thing in Perplexity. All right. I never tried it yet either. I have to actually sign up for it. I have to sign up for it to try it, but I just feel like I'm just on a new tool every day. Oh my goodness. I just feel like I'm on something new every day. What's up? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? All right, cool. So I'm going to show you all what the dashboard looks like. Right, this is what the dashboard looks like. I'm about to blow your mind because this is how deep it get for me, at least. This is how deep it get for me. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. This is what happens, right? So, and this is all the information that it's gonna give me on the grant. I'm just gonna review this because I want to be able to see, what's going on. What are my chances? And wait, did they give me strategic positioning? Oh, it didn't give me strategic positioning. Hold up. Um, okay. All right, so let's just review this real quick because it didn't Oh, okay. No, it's just going to give me this in context. Okay, cool. So let's just review this real quick so I have an understanding about what this actual grant is. All right. So the terms explicitly state the seed investment is not a prize grant or gift. Winners give up Oh, you got to give up equity? Oh, hold up. Investment is not guaranteed. Perplexity Fund can choose to fund 0 companies. You must already hold a Perplexity Max or Pro subscription before April 13th. You bear all costs. This is a venture pitch competition, not a funding program. Interesting. Interesting. You see, this is what I be saying. You gotta, because there's somebody who's gonna apply for this and get all the way to the end and be like, wait, what? I gotta do what? That's the catch. Yes, the catch. That's the catch, the ball, the field. Like, what? Because that's not on the website. That is not on the website. All right. That's hilarious. I didn't even get to the actual dashboard. I didn't get to the dashboard. That's crazy. So you have to give up equity and you could build this entire thing, spend all your money, and they can decide to fund nothing. The audacity. What's up, mystery? Okay, so let's see what they're looking for. Okay, because I was gonna build this company anyway. All right, I was gonna build it anyway. All right, so that's the other side of it. You know what I mean? But I wasn't planning on giving up equity. And if they giving you 333,000, how much equity you want? Can I negotiate this, John, like Shark Tank? Can I be like, all right, listen, I'm gonna give you 2%. You feel me? For the 333. Matter of fact, I'll give you 3% for the 333. You know what I'm saying? Like how especially if the whole goal is that they're calling it the $1 billion build, which means they believe that the company's going to make $1 billion. What portion of equity do you want from my $1 billion company? Ow, just hit my elbow. I hit my weenus. Let me see this. I need to chill. I need to calm down. I'm out here getting riled up. And I ain't even read what they need. Okay. So the investment is explicitly not guaranteed. Perplexity can fund 0 companies. Section 13 of the terms and conditions states that Perplexity Fund may invest in 0, 1, 2, 3, or more, or no companies at all at its sole discretion. Oh, so this isn't even. It's like, listen, it could be 1, 2, 12, who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? Like, bruh, there are people right now who are about to spend so much money funding their thing and they not gonna notice. Because who's gonna read the terms and conditions? All right. You must submit proof of traction. This is not an idea competition. Submissions require actual traction data, user growth, revenue figures, or measurable growth metrics. A concept or prototype without real users will not advance. The competition explicitly rewards companies that have shipped and gathered users within an 8-week window, which means, okay, this isn't. I don't think I'm gonna do this. Honestly, I don't even. We're gonna go through the thing here, but I don't think I'm gonna do this. I don't think I'm gonna do this. This better be like Shark Tank. You feel me? This better be like Shark Tank. But the way that it's also written though is that there's terms and conditions. You're signing up for this before you even really know the qualifications. All right. So, but let's go through it because I already feel like I'm not going to do it. I already feel like I'm not going to do it because the fact that y'all buried the 0, 1, 2, 3 or more or no companies at all is just, I already don't trust you. I just feel like you should have said that off the gate. Everything been in fine print. Because I saw the fine print that because it is advertised as a $1 million fund. But I saw the fine print that says the $1 million is split up amongst the 3 companies. But here's the other question for you. If you choose one company, do they get $1 million? If you choose 2 companies, do they get 500,000? If you choose 12, I don't know the math on that. What's million divided by 12? Why did I choose a number that wasn't easily? Like if it's 10, you know, is it 100,000 each? You know what I mean? That's wild sneaky. I don't like it. I don't like it. And then once you build, the reason why they're doing this too is because once you build the product on their with their infrastructure, then you are less likely to move over. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's where you built the code base, that's where you started. Like just like there are people now who just not gonna leave Chat GPT. You know what I mean? Just because they've been using it so long. They understand the ecosystem aspect of it. All right, let's go. Let's see what else they got here. Cause I don't even know what else they hiding. Okay, hold up. What else they got going on? Section 10. This is the term, mind you, like, so this is the platform that I'm developing. The platform that I'm developing is called Win Grants, which I called it Win Grants, but like it's interesting because I'm using it for pitch competitions, accelerators, the whole 9. Essentially, I just put in the link for whatever the opportunity is, and I have like programmed it, right? I've done the whole analysis on like exactly what it look, and I want you to give me all the things that are gonna matter to me. You know, all the things that are going to matter to me. And this right here, it knows me so well. These prompts came in clutch. Okay, let's go. Section 10, Perplexity can freely build anything competitive to your submission. There's no IP protection. There is no, oh, this should be illegal. What is it? They can do this. Oh, these poor funders. These poor funders. These poor funders. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. So, mind you, they looking for a good business. They are literally trying to say, I want you to come here, build a $1 billion business. I might not fund you, but I could also steal your idea. That I need to make a video on this. Oh my God. What are we funding today? Not a damn thing. I'm so not today. I thought I was about to do something. So listen, there is a $1 million pitch competition going on, or a $1 million build competition going on for whatchamacallit. It's for Perplexity. Perplexity has an accelerator program where they're looking for a company to build a product in less than 8 weeks. So the thing is, the product that I'm building, it essentially, you take the URL of opportunity and it scans the opportunity to give it's on how to win. But the thing is, I now have learned that this opportunity is like not a good one. It's not a good one. How It's not a good one. So this is why. Look at this. So I put it through my database to learn about like what is it, what they're asking for. This is what I found out. So one, they say that it's a $1 million prize, but that $1 million prize is split up against three of the top three people. So you don't get a million, you could get up to $333,000. But there's so many caveats that they don't talk about. One, the winners have to give up equity. They didn't even put that on the website. They put it in the terms and conditions. So you not only are you not getting $1 million, you're actually getting 333,000, but you have to give up equity in order for you to be able to get the money, right? And then it also learned that you could decide, you could create a product for this pitch competition, and then they could decide to fund nobody. Like you would have spent 8 weeks building your product, pitched it to them, and they can either pick 0, 1, 2, 3, or 12 companies. It don't matter. And if it's more than the 3 companies, you're still gonna have to split the money. Then, all right, keep in mind here too, is that Perplexity has, right? Perplexity has a thing in their section 10 of the terms and conditions. Look at this. Section 10. I love my software. this dude said, look at page 12, section 10. In the fine print. In the fine print, mother of many, they put this inside of the terms and conditions. Who's going to read that? You know how many people about to apply for this? Perplexity is a very big platform. You know what I'm saying? But look, it didn't went through the terms and conditions. All I did was give it the URL. That's it. I gave it the URL. I was like, here's the URL. I want you to, go through my research process that I was like, I told you to and you tell me exactly what I need to know. That's all I did. 90 seconds later, I know I'm not going to apply for this $1 million program. This ain't going to happen. I need to make a video about this. Because this is exactly why my product needs to exist. Because it'd be moments like this. Somebody's going to spend 8 weeks. And you have to, by the way, the way that it functions is that you sign up. You have to have a paid subscription in order to be in this program. You have to build the product and get users in less than 8 weeks. And there's no guarantee you're actually going to get the money. So you have to spend all of your money to build the product, whatever it is you're building, and you have to get users. And then the worst part, we ain't even get past the top section. I don't even know what else is going on here. We only got past the first 3, and I was like, I'm not doing this. But there's an IP risk. So look, participation does not restrict Perplexity Fund, or its affiliates from independently developing, creating, investing in, or pursuing products, services, or companies or ideas similar to or competitive with any application. Your submission is not confidential. Don't enter with your most sensitive proprietary concepts. I'm not doing it. Yep, exactly. You better what? Because the whole concept, they're saying that they want $1 billion business. This is weird. I honestly don't. I think this is weird. I might have to read the terms and conditions myself. Like, not to say I trust my software, but I might have to look at this word for word myself, because I can't. Because who read the term and conditions? You know what I'm saying? It's like, give up your soul. Okay, so there's some more stuff here. Okay, there's some more stuff here. Okay. And there's another legal gate. Winners must incorporate as a U.S. Delaware C Corp, and Perplexity monitors all your activity. The investment requires incorporation as a Delaware C Corp before funds can be issued. Additionally, Perplexity reserves the right to access and review all inquiries, prompts, task outputs, workflow data, account activity during the competition. This is described as a condition of participation. What? Can they do this? I really hope people read the terms and conditions. I really do hope, because even if I do make a video, I don't think it's going to get to everybody who need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if it's going to get to everybody to do this. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep going. A Perplexity Max costs $167 a month. All right. And you're definitely going to need max because if you're trying to build whatever they're trying to, because you have 8 weeks to build and get traction, which means that like you got to build it in 2 or 3 weeks so that you have 5 weeks to gain users. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, this look like stress. This look like stress. I got a hammock I got to lay in. I'm not doing that. You know, Perplexity will not reimburse subscription fees or any other costs unless explicitly agreed in writing. Over 8 weeks at the max tier is going to be so yeah, it'll be at minimum you're going to spend about $300 to possibly, get your idea stolen and uh other things. Crazy business. You know, they could do it if it's in the fine print. Well, you know what? And then again, ain't the terms and conditions I ever, looked at. So, I don't know what they doing with my data and my IP now. I'm out here I'm on live. I probably didn't check the box just to get this StreamYard account up. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's look here. All right. So you have to have a subscription in order for you to do it. 10 pin, you got to pitch and you got to pitch for it. I wonder if they would pitch and then they would still pick nobody. That would make my heart drop. That would make my whole heart drop because doing a pitch like that, I know because I watch Shark Tank a lot. I would go on Shark Tank and I watching it make my heart beat sometimes. I'm like, damn, I wonder what I would say if I was there. I don't know if I'd be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me turn myself down because I want to be able to look at this too. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Yeah, the heartbeat grant is due today. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I wanted to. It's 2 hours away. Should I do it? I got to look at that application again. Should I do it? Did you apply for it? I was going to, but the tech accelerator application took me out. Sometimes I got to be like, Queen, leave some for the rest of the world. Leave some for the rest of them. But let me know if you did it. I might. Let me look at it because it's only 2 hours. I got 2 more hours. I guess if it's 11:59, I wouldn't want to do it and then like find out that investment conditional. Video demonstrated worker product completed application form. Yeah, it's high risk. So it's 100% discretionary, and they could build a competitive to your submission. It monitors all your computer activity. Owns a worldwide license to you. Wait, what? Perplexity owns a worldwide license to use your name, product, and likeness. By entering, you grant Perplexity Fund a worldwide royalty-free promotional license to use your company name, product, code, concepts, workflows, founder likeness, and demo footage for marketing, investment relations, and other commercial purposes without further consent or compensation? I didn't think it could get worse. I'm feeling violated from here. I'm feeling violated from here. Oh my God. You know what? I gotta assume that like they not gonna do it. I don't know why they put it in writing like that though, but I just want to assume the better of people. I want to assume too much. That's all of it. That's all of it. I really got to make a video on this. I feel like I got to make a video on this because this is exactly why I'm like making this software. Because had I not known that, I'd have did all this. I'd have did all this. Weeks, hours, no sleep. You feel me? Bed, cold. You feel me? Lights on, insomnia. Oh my goodness. So you own your submission materials. Hold on, what is this? Participants retain ownership of their submission materials, subject to the promotional license granted to Perplexity above. Oh. Why would you put that as a positive? You just wanted to brighten up my day dashboard. That's what you want to do. You're like, hey, well, you got this. I mean, subject to the thing on top, but you got it. Don't do that to me. This is the first time they ever did this program. This is the first time they're ever doing it, and I'm hoping that other companies like decide to do that too, but like not like this. But let's see what they're actually looking for. What's the purpose of this? Perplexity is a $22.6 billion company actively competing with Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft. Perplexity Computer is their enterprise AI agent product, still early. This competition is a product demo and an enterprise acquisition play. Winners will be used in Perplexity marketing as proof that Perplexity Computer can build billion-dollar companies. They want companies that make Perplexity look extraordinary, not just good founders. So let's see what their fears, motivations, desires, and risk tolerance. Okay. By the way, this is like every single time I go to compete for an opportunity, this is what I use. This is what I use. As soon as I understood like how to build these things in AI and understand how to use AI, I taught it my research strategy. So I went through like a application that I was applying for, and I was like, every single time something happened, I was like, oh, this is how I feel about this. This is what happens here. This is what I want you to look here. Search this to find this so I can get an answer. Like an equation. I didn't sleep properly for days. And I turned that all in, and I was like, all right, cool. And we're going to build a dashboard, and this is what's going to be inside of it, right? So fears, motivations, desires, and risk tolerance. The reason why I look for this is because I want to be their motivations and desires. I want to address and acknowledge a person's fears, and I want to make sure that I either stay away from or go towards their risk tolerance. That is why I do it, right? So if somebody has a fear, I'm going to make sure that I address my opposition to that thing. So let's say, as an example, it's not going to be for this competition because I ain't doing it, but we're going to see here their fears. Winners who don't use Perplexity Computer prominently in their build story. Finalists who product demo falls flat on live TV. Ooh, that would be a problem. That would be a problem. A well-deserved one, but a problem nonetheless. Investing in companies that embarrass the fund post announcement, a competition that generates no compelling marketing narrative. Yeah, because that's what they're doing it for. That's exactly what they're doing it for, So in this scenario, I would address that in the demo, right? So I would make sure that I have a very clean demo, because that's probably what's going to be the thing that really sets you apart, because that's what they're going to be able to take and use and say like, oh, you see this person, they're really good at what they did, and they built it in Perplexity in a really short amount of time. I don't even know if I want to use the software at this point, because but I got to read the terms and conditions myself, because this also was analyzed by AI, and my software is good. You know what I mean? But it could still make mistakes. So I have to because it already gave me all the sections and the pages. So I'm going to go to those sections and pages myself and be like, it really say this? They really said that. So that when I make the video, I'm going to cross-reference it. Okay, so their motivations is to prove that Perplexity Computer can build $1 billion business in 8 weeks. Okay. Which is crazy, by the way. I thought I was feeling I thought I was feeling lazy. You know what I'm saying? Where people would be like, oh, yo, I make $25,000 a month. Build $1 billion business in 8 weeks. Honestly, bro, I'm just feeling like, why should I try? How does this apply to artists? And do you actually let the AI write for you, or just use it as research and drafting tools? Thanks. Sorry if you already answered. Well, hello, the Daily. So one, how does it apply to artists? In the very same way, right? So it's all this. What the software does is that you put a URL into the software, and it does the analysis. That's it. And it could analyze anything. Right, whether it could be an artist residency, accelerator program, a $1 billion grant fund. It really doesn't matter. All it's really, what the software is truly doing is acquiring all of the data on the page and all other pages that you're not looking at, like the terms and conditions or the about me or the partner pages. And then it also goes through the internet to discover things about the organization or about the people who've won in the past, things like that. That all applies to any opportunity. And then it just shows you how to position yourself to win. That's what the goal is. Now, in terms of your second question, do I allow AI to write for me? No. All right. And I say no with an asterisk, right? Because I'm a storyteller. I'm an artist by profession. That's how I started getting into grant writing, period. I'm a professional poet. And in order for me to make money as a poet, I was going for grants. So when I write in a storytelling structure that AI ain't got yet. I don't know if it'll ever get there. I don't want to say like AI ain't never gonna get there, but it ain't there now. It's too academic, it's too institutional, it's too not human, you know? And I write conversational in a way where it's like I almost take risks in my writing that I don't allow AI to do. So when I say asterisk is that I will use this, I will use my software as a research tool and a strategy tool to inform what I write myself. And I usually write very loosely now because of AI. But I'll take that and then give it to AI to go through like grammar or like, structure or, even if, and the other thing too is that like I have, one of the things that my software does is did it do here? All right, cool. Vocabulary. One of the things that my software does is that it will go through all the pages and determine what words show up very often in the funder data. Or if the funder has like YouTube videos, what words show up often in their transcripts. And then it'll collect those and it'll tell you which language you should include inside of it. So when I go to AI, I run my responses against it to be like, hey, have I included the words that resonate with him? Have I made sure to make sure, like, to not include the signals that don't? That's what it is. Oh, that's sick. Well, that's times Navy, and it's like half of what I do while grant writing. I feel you about the voice and create. Yeah. Yeah, no. For the voice stuff, it's not good. It's not good. It ain't there. So if you want to try it, sign up for the wait list. Sign up for the wait list. I thought I was gonna be able to use this to build it, but nay. Nay on that front. Also, by the way, it's not just me in here. Everybody say hi to Milo, who's probably upset that I moved her. He's like, wait, whoa, I was fixing my feathers. Are you gonna go back to fixing your feathers? Okay, there you go. All right. So did I finish whatever was going on here? I might go over to do what time is it? It's 10 o'clock. Let me see if that freelance grant is open because this is a $5,000 grant. It's due in 2 hours. I might do it. Depending. I feel like I wrote out the questions. This is the CEO. These are the backers. Oh, and it's Amazon too? Nope. They gonna let me not say nothing. The internet listening. And then of course there's links here, by the way, too. So then you basically click on it and you can go to all of their like pages, like their social pages and all that kind of stuff. And this is like it aggregates the entire thing. You can go to their YouTube and all that, and it brings all those things together. Yeah. This is awesome. And this is like everything that like, I had to actually talk to a few people. Because they were telling me most people don't take this amount of, but don't put this amount of energy inside of their grant strategy. Not if you don't understand the reason of doing, like the purpose of doing it. Most people do not spend this much time. I do because I like to win. I like to win. And I made a video about this before. And I'm like, I like to win. I'm competitive. I don't cheat. I'm not out here cheating. But I'm going to be so damn good at what I'm doing that you going to call me a cheater. Be like, nah, it's not fair. This is unfair. What I do, the type of research I do is unfair. People going to look at me and be like, no, that's not, that's exactly what I'm building. If you get on my platform, other people are going to be mad. I mean? If they found out you use this, they're going to be like, nah, that's not fair. She had a whole game plan. You right. A cheat sheet. You know what I'm saying? One more question. What do you say if folks use it unethical since not everyone has it? Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even read that question. I'm not concerned with that. Yeah, I'm not concerned with that. I don't not at all. Not at all. I'm not concerned at all with that. I'm not going to, it's that I don't even know. So first off, I want to deeply let you know that I wouldn't even, they should be. They should feel some type of way. And if they feel some type of way, go ahead and use it yourself. You feel me? Subscribe. Wingrants.io. You feel me? But I think it's one of those things where it's like my I needed to have this kind of like strategy because I was going against companies that had, grant writers, grant teams. They had, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in set aside in their budget to go for grants. These are also institutions, by the way, that have relationships with the foundations. You feel me? They have donor facing relationships where they can shake hands with people to get things. And it's like that's just the way of the world. I'm not like lost on the idea that, going for funding isn't equal for people. You know what I mean? And we are now in an age with a technology that is going to level the playing field. Asterisk, let me change that. It is going to create an unfair advantage for a lot of people. And that's what this is. All right. Because other people had an unfair advantage before. My time is now. My time is now, And the thing is, too, is that it doesn't guarantee you success. Somebody can read this entire Perplexity thing or whatever and still walk away with a bad pitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't write grants. I'm not giving you, I'm not writing it for you. You could do it and it could still not work out for you. The thing is that it's a tool for you to be able to use to help inform, But nah, I'm not about to. Yeah, nah. The world's unfair. The world is unfair, kid. You need to do this type of research that takes you down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've been around too many rabbit holes, actually, which is why I built this software. That was, mind you, I didn't build this because I wanted to build a tech company. I created these dashboards because I wanted to stop doing the rabbit hole. It was taking me too long to apply for a grant. And mind you, I've been applying for grants for 6 years. And it got to the point where I was like, dang, this is taking me too long. This is taking me too long. How can I? And AI, okay, I'm going to automate the process. What's the longest part of the process? For me, it's research. Now I skip that whole thing. I put in this link and 60 seconds later. Ta-da. All right, let me look at because I'm not doing this. And I will strongly, if I see people promoting this Perplexity thing or whatever, I very strongly might create a video about this. Because I almost feel like I have the kind of information that I need to warn people about. Like, I almost feel like, what I mean? I'd be like, they're coming. Yes, Bird. I feel like I'd be like, yo, they coming. Over here. Don't go. Like, I feel like I done got that kind of information. Had I not, if it was light where it was like, oh, you gotta work, I'd be like, all right, maybe, I'm gonna let them find out. But this so deep. This competition is so deep. Like the level of like, who would do this? Who in their right mind would do this? Why? What's the benefit? What is the benefit? When I could build, if I were to spend the same amount of money, build my entire system in something, and then I own everything. Every last drop of my $1 billion company. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I might have to make a video on this. I might have to do, oh my goodness. I'm hot now. I didn't even prepare myself for this. I didn't even, Lord. I was not, why ain't y'all tell me? I need some water. I'm so sorry, Bird. I need some water. Go ahead. Bathroom. Good job. I need some water because my chest hurt. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm feeling better now. That's what we gonna do. Let me check out I'm gonna check out that I made a dashboard for freelancing females. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. I made one for freelance. Let me show you freelance. This one is a $5,000. I gotta look at the questions. Am I gonna apply for this before I even go too deep? because the application closes. I'm pretty sure it closes in 2 hours. And not even 2 hours. I'm pretty sure if it's 11:59. Let me see. Can I apply? Oh, it's open. Apply here. Okay, I think it's 11:59. Okay. Yeah, it's 11:59. All right, I might. Hold on. Let me see. Stop. Bird, stop. Jesus, man. Like my bird absolutely, when I tell you my bird loves to come into my office and choose the most expensive thing to perch upon and then proceed to use her toucan-sized beak to destruct whatever it is that is. Like she chewed up my teleprompter. She out here killing up my phone. Like her mind, she's like, what are you using frequently? No, I swear if you do that, I'm putting you back in your cage. You will return to captivity. Do you want to return to captivity? I know you don't, because you gonna start wilding when you get in that cage. She gonna start wilding. She gonna start getting mad at me. Like, what are you doing? Stop. 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 Either that or you're gonna go back over there. Please. Okay. Let me see did I write down the questions? Oh yes, I did. Okay, so this is I'm just gonna, because what I do every single time that I look for an opportunity, you're not gonna, I don't care. Come here. I don't care. I don't care. What happens when I look for an opportunity is that I write down all the questions so that I'm able to look back at it. Okay, so what is your business called? All right, that's easy. Website, when did I start it? When is based? Describe it in 150 words or less. Okay, so this is a question I actually have to answer. What industry what industry or revenue stage are you? Okay, that's not bad. Tell us about more. Do you currently have a community? Okay, yeah, because you're choosing one. I guess I have an active one. Stop. Are you doing this to make me mad? Because I feel like you're doing this for attention. Okay. I, bird. It's spring. She's hormonal, and bird is being a bird. Okay. What makes your community special? Or if you're building one, what makes them special? Okay, interesting. I would have to actually answer that. There's no character count. Notice something interesting too. Notice how the only thing that had a character count was describe your business. You want to know why that probably is? Is that the only one with a character count? Yes, it is. You want to know why that is? They do that because if you ask somebody to tell them, like, what does your business do? You would be there all day long. You could have made a business in the time that somebody would spend describing their business. That's why they put character counts there. That's why they do it. Because honestly, it's so helpful for people because hopefully it teaches, you know what I mean? You got to work for it. It's like, dang, how am I going to say this in 150 words? I'm like, yes. I got to see if I already have a description for mine, but I don't know if it's under 150. I think I had more when I did that description, so it probably wouldn't be too bad to cut it down. Okay, so what industry? This is a different question. What makes your community special? If you're building one, what will make it special? What brings people together? I think that's a separate question. Okay. What is your biggest challenge in building your business and growing your community? There's a lot of questions here. I don't know if I'm gonna do this because I'm already tired. I should have ordered something to eat. I told myself I need to take, if you start chewing on my phone, you know what I'm gonna do. Matter of fact, just go. You want to see the disrespect? I'm about to say, you want to see the disrespect, yo? There you go. Sit right there. You get everything you want, but without my phone. You get everything you want out of life, but without my phone. If you come over to my phone, see, because they ain't got nothing to do with trying to purchase yourself. It's all about my phone. Stop it. Okay, how did you plan to use the grant money? Super big. I literally had my grant call today, and I was talking to folks about what it is that they wanted to build, and nobody in the group had a budget. Nobody was like, I was like, how much you gonna need? They was like, I might, I want to get. Don't do that. you know? So, oh, you're a grant writer? Oh, you got to DM me. You got to DM me so you can get early access to the software. Because you use this and your client's going to have an unfair advantage. You know? Your client's going to have an unfair advantage. All right, let's get into it. All right, being a funder isn't easy. If you had a magic wand, what would your community look like in 12 months? Yeah, these are a lot of questions. I don't know if I'm gonna do this. What is your revenue? That's a dash. That's a drop down. Why should why should we pick you? Go ahead, show off a little. You ain't got to tell me. Yeah, get mad. She's tight because I won't let her perch on my phone. But it's because you keep chewing on my case. You want to eat my phone case? Because you know how important my phone is to me. She knows. It's kind of almost like how like kids know because it's like you always got it in your hand. So they kind of here. Yeah, there you go. You can have my water bottle. Wait. Let me get another drink of water. And then you can go on there. There you go. Now you good. All yours. All yours. Hey, yo, what up, Space Torpedo? Yo, Space, bruh. Let me tell you this right here, right now, yo. Space. I came on here because I wanted to showcase Perplexity. Perplexity has a billion, like they call it the $1 billion build. It is a $1 million like a pitch competition, like accelerator competition, AI startup, right? And you building grant swipe, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, yo, I'm gonna go here and check it out or whatever. I want to see if I could use this to build win grants, right? Now I put the URL into win grants so that I can get the research opportunity. Yo, Perplexity is wildin', dog. They are wilding right now. Like, one, they say that it's $1 million program, but you technically, right, have to split it between the top 3 winners. And that's assuming they pick anyone at all, because according to the terms and conditions, they could choose to fund nothing. You have to build the business in less than 8 weeks, right? You have to build it in less than 8 weeks. They could choose to fund nothing. You have to have users and making money by the time the 8 weeks is up. And then they could, even if they choose to fund you or not, your IP is not protected. They can look through all your code, your prompts, and make a competitive product. What? Nah. Crazy. Why should we pick? Yeah, this is too many. What is it? Yeah, it's about to be 10:30. Nope. So tell you what, Monique, do you have a grant that you're working on? Let me put it through the system so that I can show you what it does. If you got a grant just because you on live, you've been dedicated to the story, you know what I'm saying? Show me what you got. Give me a grant. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if they got something in the terms and conditions we need to know about. You know what I mean? Let's see if we got something in the terms and conditions we need to know about. Yeah, I was gonna apply for this, but I just my body, my brain. I don't even know if I got I don't know if I got the juice for this. Oh, I already did O'Shaughnessy. I actually applied to O'Shaughnessy last year. I applied to O'Shaughnessy last year, and you know what? Let me do so I'm gonna pull up the one that I did. I'm about to hit my session limit in Claude. I'm about to tell you 1 second. I don't know if it's gonna be able to do that. I might have to get more credits. Because I recently just started hitting my So here's a few things about O'Shaughnessy. And I applied last year and I didn't have the strategy. And after reading the strategy report that I created, I learned a lot about how I wasn't aligned with the opportunity. And I didn't position myself to be aligned with it. So first is that they have awarded over 77 people across the fellowships and the grants program, right? They've rewarded 77 people over the last 4 years. I believe it started in 2021. Of the 77 people, none of them have been Black women. Zero. Of the 77 people that they have funded, 74% of them have been male. You following these numbers? Despite the fact that they say that the competition is a global competition, 54% of the people that they select is from the United States. Despite saying that they fund, creatives and, anyone in the world doing incredible things, majority of the companies or majority of I wouldn't even say companies because that's the confusing part. People apply with their business and it's not what it's for. But majority of the concepts, ideas are in deep tech or hard science. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm about to blow your mind. And I'm not saying this, mind you, I don't create these things so that people cannot apply. I create these things because if you are going to, then you have to position yourself. Just because they've never selected a Black woman doesn't mean that you don't have any chances. It's more than likely that they haven't selected a Black woman because majority of the things that they funded was in deep tech. So it's like that you're probably more rare and by deep tech is like quantum mechanics. And I'm sure there's Black women there, but not only do they have to be there, they have to apply with a good narrative structure to this fellowship. You know what I mean? Like that demographic is probably small. But let me show you the OCV. Let me show you the OCV. Let me show you the OCV dashboard. The one that I'm gonna show you it. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get this up here. Okay, boom. I'm gonna start it over. Again, so how the website works is that you come over here, you drop in the URL. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Give it the URL. And it's going to read the entire website. If it's an RFP, it'll look over through that. It's going to pull all the financial records, the tax records to try to learn about their granting history. It's going to analyze all the past awardees. That's where the gold's at. That's where you got to know, who are they choosing? Am I one of them? Do I look like them, sound like them, walk like them, breathe like them? What's up? I aggregate all the social profiles. Then we read between the lines, right? Let's figure out what words show up often, what things do they encourage, and all those kind of things, right? Cool. They have awarded 77 people in the past. Oh yeah, this has gone on for 2 years, right? And the fellowships, they've awarded 32 fellowships and then 45 grants. The program has grown 3x over the last few years. The good thing about O'Shaughnessy, and here's the other asterisk about the program, like the software that I have, there's a data confidence score. The reason why that data confidence score exists is because some grants don't have as much media, right? Like if you put in a link for your local church that's giving up $500, you're not gonna get this. Like I ain't gonna be able to give you much, you know what I'm saying? But if you give me a link to an O'Shaughnessy, they have YouTube, Instagram, news articles, you know what I'm saying? There's more data, and the more data available on an opportunity is the better the results are going to be, you know? So all right, cool. So Merchant of the Light is their architect. Are you applying for this? Because if you applying, I'm about to give you the game. I'm about to give you the game on how to win. All right. So boom. So the Merchant of the Light. If you don't know what the Merchant of the Light is, it's an ideology, and it's also, I'm pretty sure it's a book by someone named Francis Bacon. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. But if you don't know what it is, take this and go into YouTube. I think it's like they have the audio version. It's like on less than 2 hours. I'd listen to it because that's what they are. That's what the whole thing is. Behind it, you know what I mean? So 55% had no prior institutional backing at the time of the award. OSV is a meaningful first or second funder for the majority of recipients. Being early stage is an asset, not a liability. So you have to be, being someone early stage is helpful. The grant tier grew from 4 to 22 awards in 2 years. So what and they scale pretty fast. So they were like, oh, not a lot of people gonna get that 100, but we gonna give a lot of people, a lot more people this the grant, which is $10,000, by the way. Mind you, we're talking anybody who's coming in here. This is called the O'Shaughnessy Fellowship. This is an open fellowship. This is inaccurate. I gotta change this. I gotta search this. It's open until April 30th. It's 2 more weeks. I think it's like 2 more weeks. If you want to apply to O'Shaughnessy, you could just search up this O'Shaughnessy Ventures. Okay. Yeah, it's open to anyone in the world. Although I'm gonna show you some things. All right. So it claims global reach, but 57% of the awardees are US based. International applicants face significantly lower odds than the program's positioning suggests. Okay. It's not to say that you can't win. All right. But win 57%. But here's also the other thing too. And I'm also going to add this in because I have to figure out how I'm going to do this in the software, because it doesn't necessarily mean they choose more people from the US. It could just mean that more people in the US apply because we're more aware of the program, right? That could just largely be why majority of the people are US based versus, an international applicant. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I have to be aware of that when I'm displaying this data, because somebody could see this and be like, oh nah, you only mess with America and only mess with male, and when the data has other layers to the story. That's why I want to make this. That's why it's so crucial to make it, because the data can show you different things. Okay, so deep science is really critical, right? But creative is a differentiator. So no other 100K fellowship funds Hindi singer-songwriters alongside quantum researchers. Competition thinner in the creative tier, which means I was going to apply as a creative. So if I were to go for this fellowship, I would consider having some tech enabled connection to whatever my creative endeavor is. That's what I would do. What were you going to apply as, by the way? Like, what do you do? I know you're a grant writer. I don't know if you're going to apply as a grant writer, but I would not recommend this for anyone who just has a business. If they're like, oh, I have a business, I want to make hair care products. I want money to do that. That's not what this is for. That is not what this is for. This is for the builder. This is for the person who has a radical idea that almost seems impossible and, is like abstract. Like one of them that I saw was like of the past awardees. I don't know if it was this one. I'm pretty sure it was this one, but don't quote me. But they were storing like information, like they were storing language inside of DNA of plants, so that the plant's DNA had the language of the land, so it wouldn't be lost. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, those people, that's not just like, oh, I got a business that I want to run. You know what I'm saying? That's what they doing. Like the Hindi singer, his thing was like, he wanted to make 1,000 songs, I think in a language that he created. You know what I mean? It was like something, it's not like they're not funding, the conventional. I wouldn't go into this funding conventional. And that's what I think happened with me last year, is that I was very conventional. I'm an educator. I'm creating a platform focused on career readiness for high school students. Here's what I would say though, is that there have been a few education platforms, but I think that at least I can remember from the past awardees is that they were, and I'm going to show you because I actually have a prior to me developing this, I created a an Excel sheet of all the past awardees. There you go. Boom. Okay, so this is all the people who have ever been awarded in the past, and just as a fair warning, you going for this fellowship, you going against people like me. I don't know if I'm gonna apply to it though. But I think from my understanding, there was a guy in Uganda and he had a program that teach high school, but but it's also another level to it because he was teaching students who they were their economic situation was like, you know, something was going on there. You know what I mean? Like he was teaching students that were like, you know, dealing with traumatic and very difficult life circumstances. You know what I'm saying? They were, this was like their hope to be able to do something like that. But this is like, this is how deep it get. Because when I was once it opened up this year, I was like, oh, I want to win this. How can I do that? How can I do that? You know, how could I win this? What other stuff do I have in here for, yeah, the number one person that they build is the builder founders. That's the number one. And by builder founders, it's one of those, it essentially means just like how what I'm doing. Like I built a dashboard to help you what I was doing, and then now I'm building a company that does that thing. You see what I'm saying? Builder founder. That's their number one archetype. And then in terms of, because what you're doing sounds more like community. But I also don't know how you built your business, you know. So their fears: funding work absorbed by institutions, missing breakthroughs without validation, replicating other fellowship programs. So whatever you're doing has to be very unique. It has to be very unique. You know, to everybody who's in here, I'm just like working through a fellowship application right now because it's like, these are things that they don't tell you, or this is what the application says. But I think that like, this is some of the stuff that I have to kind of like, you know, I have to include into AI. You know, when it's giving that kind of data, you can't just take it at face value. And that's the hard part, because I don't want people to just like read it and then be like, oh, but you know, they walk away and be like, oh, they don't like men, you know, they only like men, they only like this, they only like that, or whatever. When in actuality, it's probably, you know, there are probably other nuances to those numbers. You know, there's nuances to it. So, there's also the famous Amos grant. Did you see that one? Because I did a dashboard for that recently. I'll show you guys that one. Famous Amos is really popular. Famous Amos, I say really popular as if only I know about it. But like, I just be telling people when I get a child, I'll be like, yo, you know, Famous Amos got something going on. I still didn't order myself something to eat. What should I get what should I get to eat? I told myself I would, oh, you saw the live for that? Okay, so you saw the Famous Amos one. All right, what other ones do we got? Because I'm not doing the freelance, John. I'm not doing the freelance one. What other things are going on? Let's make some more of those. When does my claw reset? Because I'm about to again, I'm gonna have to add another subscription. What am I billing at? When does it reset? Oh, okay, it just reset. Okay. Oh, I can add a credit? Oh, they gave me $20 of extra usage on them. I'm turning that off right now. Yeah, I want to turn off my extra usage. Yeah, I'm gonna use that for another day. I'm gonna use that for another day. Thank you, Claude. It heard me talking mess. It heard me talking mess. You know. Hold up, wait. I see Malik Arts in here. Is that Angel? Is that you? Because you know, ain't a lot of Islamic artists. You know, calligraphy artists. You know what I'm saying? Ain't a lot of us. Ain't a lot of you out there. You know what I mean? Yo, Professor, thank you for coming into my comment section. Cause I got I got some folks in my comment section right now. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I made a video today just talking about like my experience with in the AI conversation. I don't typically talk about polarizing topics, but I'm getting more open just because I want to share my ideas, and I'm also developing an AI SaaS platform. But I made a video and I was telling, you know, in the video that typically when people hear that I'm a creative, they start talking about the issues that they have with AI, right? Or where, and the issues, they kind of vary depending on who I'm talking to. Like if they're creative, it's usually like, oh, it's AI slop. It's like, design tools and, all these things. They look terrible. They sound bad. I hate it. Oh my God. How, they doing this. And then other people I talk to, it'll be like, it'll be the environment. It'll be climate change. It'll be water, those kind of things like that. Mind you, they're telling me all these things. Like as soon as like I tell them that I'm a creative or that I do these things or whatever it is, they just start talking as if I like like I'm one of them. Like I'm just gonna like jump back in. And so they'll go in and I'll be like, they don't even realize, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, they don't even realize I'm about to, you know what I mean? So they'd be like, oh, so what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I'm a founder and I developed an AI SaaS platform, to help creatives make more money and create a sustainable income. So, hi. Pleasure to see you. And it's like their nuance is a very difficult thing to do, especially like in a 60-second video. So they're like, so like I was hoping, and in the video I explicitly said that I was just like, I was honest about the fact that I'm ignorant. And it's crazy because I say that about myself because I know that ignorance is of lack of knowledge, but I'm ignorant about a million things. My ignorance is almost to an infinite ability. Like there's too many things I don't know about. There's just too many things I don't know about. There's also too many things I don't know about that I'm not going to go through the process to learn. You know what I mean? Like this just like I have a car, but I will likely never learn how to break down my engine and put it back together. I will remain ignorant on said information. But in this particular thing, people were like feeling some type of way in my comment section was like, yo, you can't, you know what I mean? How you gonna use something and be ignorant to using it? And I'm just like, the same way I use every other piece of equipment that I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like the same exact way. And I'm also really hopeful, by the way. I'm really hopeful because I do know that there are a lot of people affected by this. And not even just in the environment, because in the ways that I've met people affected, it's because of their jobs. It's because of their livelihood, which isn't like, it isn't like, climate in the same way. And it's like everybody has their own, feelings toward it, which is why I don't go deep into it. Because when people look at me and they say like, oh, do your research, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that like? Who like if I were to research the implications of AI and start today, I could do that one task for the rest of my existence. You know what I mean? We could always figure it out. I have hope. I have a lot of hope. And even if there is no hope, I will have hope until the moment my universe collides into like darkness. That's like how delusional I am in my world. Nobody else got to be like me. Nobody else got to be like me. But I will have hope. I will have love. I will lead with those intentions until the switch, until the moment where, you know what I'm saying? That's me to the end. Me to the end. That's my intentions. My intentions are pure. You know what I'm saying? And that's until then. You know? So I'm gonna follow at I am Shia. She's a great. Oh, okay. So I should follow this person. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna follow this person. And I'm just, I'm truly confident that if we could use if something can be used to destroy, it could be used to create, and it can be used to build. And I'm going to be one of those people. If the world is filled with evil and if it's filled with all that, I will do everything in my power. I can't say 0% because those people in my comments gonna think I'm evil for doing what I'm doing. So I ain't gonna win with everybody, but I'm gonna do my best to lead from a place of love. I am Shia. How's anybody else feeling about that? Does anybody else use AI in their workflow or what they doing or has been affected by it? Like, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't think that's her name because I can't find her. I say her because I don't know if I don't know who that is. So uh yeah, but I'd love that, you know. But I also just want to tell people about what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm building. And that was what was important. You so cute. You little you just so damn cute. She's all puffy right now. Yeah, I know. You little puffy bug. You little chicken. You little chicken nugget. Yeah, I love that bird. Her name's Milo. She's turning 6 this year. She was born in 2020. She's my little bug, you know. Just a few moments ago, she's been hormonal for a long time, but then she started acting normal. All right, you use AI to strategize. Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, I use it to strategize. I use it for strategy. I use it for research. Oh, okay, that's who it is. Okay, I am. Yeah, I did that too, but um, yeah, I couldn't find that. Oh, okay. No, I wrote it in wrong. There we go. Boom. All right, I'm gonna follow to help you think critically in the age of AI. Oh, and is she a black? Is this a black woman? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you know what? I'm going to follow because I'm not like by no stretch of the imagination. I'm not gonna close myself off to information. Let me rephrase that because I do. There's too much. There's just I'm not the kind of person to talk to about negativity in the world. I'm forget even beyond AI. Beyond AI, I'm just not the person to have conversations with about anything negative happening in the world. Cuz I'm going to piss you off. Not because of my opinions and thoughts, but I'm going to piss you off because I'm not going to give whatever you're saying any energy. Any energy. You know, I'm not going to give you inkling. You know what I'm saying? If you came to me like, "Yo, Queena, the world is burning, it's on fire. It's there is damn. I'm not going to give you none of it." None of it, you know? So, you know, that's also another thing too. I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate at all. Every single thing can get every single thing can get backlogged. You know, everything can get backlogged. I ain't got time. I ain't got time for that. I had to recover. I had to recover because as a millennial, I grew up with the internet and I started using the internet consistently. And I learned I learned something that took me too long to learn, and it was that um, you can't like awareness. I know that it at one point was extremely important, and I don't say that is a bad thing, but we are abundantly aware. We are abundantly aware, you know, to a point where I am often I'm shamed. I am shamed if I'm not like, you know, in whatever it is I got going on. You said you were a spoken word artist, so you and I may have crossed paths. I used to do. Oh, I feel like so I don't know if we've ever crossed paths before, but I have heard of Do More. And I think I've heard of Do More because of Black Chakra. Is Black Chakra at Do More? Or was he over there? That's crazy. Hold up. But I have heard of Do More before. That program. Uh but maybe we have. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I think that's where I heard of it, you know. But I don't know him personally. And something interesting is that I started poetry when I was 8 years old. So I've been on stage. This would mark 25 years. I've been on stage for 25 years, and I was doing poetry professionally for the last 6 years. So been able to travel the world, been able, you know, to do, you know, I won the grants and all those kind of things like that. And it was all of it was rooted in poetry or like performance arts or, you know, public speaking. One of them was hip hop because I was like, I went overseas as a MC because I was like, poets can rap too. You know what I mean? We can get busy. So I don't know where I was going with this. Why did I explain? What I was saying was that I don't I don't know him personally, although I know that he's in the slam world because he's one of the greatest slam poets ever. But I am not in the poetry community heavy. Like there are plenty of poets who know me, but I'm not in the community heavy because in order for me to make the money, I had to step out of the poetry community. For me to make the money, I had to go to, boardrooms. Sorry, allergies is hitting me. But I had to go into the boardrooms. I had to go into, into businesses. I had to go into spaces where poets just were not. That's how I got my advantage. I heard something. I was talking to my marketing strategist today, and he said something to me that I was like, "Oh, this is fire." And he was like, "Different is better than better." Right? So some people are focused on like, "Oh, yo, I'm gonna try to be the best at something or whatever." Different is better than better. And the reason is because when I did this one here is a campaign I did with CBS. This is an Emmy award winning campaign I did with CBS. This is in 2021. And the reason why I ended up doing this campaign with CBS, it's like that was like for them, a poet was innovative. A poet was unique way of describing something, you know? And it was in those rooms because they didn't look like me. Ain't nobody in that room been to a poetry slam. Ain't nobody in that room, know how to judge and nothing like that. But it was like that's how I was able to stand out. I'll go to businesses. I'll go to the first time I went overseas was to Dubai, right? And they weren't looking for poets. They weren't looking for poets. But I was like, oh, okay, they're not looking for poets. They're looking for these performance artists, and most of the people that they chose were like classical, they chose like classical artists and stuff like that. But like, I was like, I pitched it because I'm like, oh, this is it. This is so. And then when they saw my application, they like, yo, this is different. We don't got no poets here, but I can't do that. You know what I mean? If I'm in the poetry world, because we all doing the same thing. We all doing the same thing. We all going the same places. One of the other things too about being a pro poet, and I'm sorry, I'm like going ham on this conversation about pro poetry because it's like I don't have the biggest name in poetry, but like I've done a lot of things. Right. And it's because that was like my goal. I was like, I want to do all these things. I'm like, I'm gonna just slide out a little bit. But it's like poets don't have a pathway in order to create financial stability. That's why I had to go to the grant world, right? Once I won my first grant, it was over with. I won a grant and I was like, there's more. Matter of fact, I think poets dramatically underestimate themselves by not applying for grants because poets are incredible persuasive writers. Like being a poet is an advantage when it comes to writing a grant application. Oh, I'm nasty. My metaphor, you know what I mean? Like, think about it like this. The number one reason anybody makes a decision is based off of what? Emotion. Who better to convey emotion than a poet? That's why poets need to be writing television campaigns. They need to be copywriting, marketing. They should be in marketing agencies. But like a poet isn't thinking to themselves, oh, I should be a copywriter. You know what I mean? They're thinking to themselves, I should write a book, right? And then I'm going to bring that book to an open mic, and then I'll sell a few copies and then I'll maybe make $150 on the feature, $200 on a feature. Sometimes you're only making, sometimes you don't even make no money. They give you a video, or something like that. And then you're kind of hoping like, okay, maybe I can get on one of these big platforms and then I'll get discovered. But then you need a whole system. You need a system in order for you to actually profit off of whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the lane. And it was like, that was where I was like, oh, I got something here because I understood what it meant to be an entrepreneur. So that's how I was able to kind of make that shift. Yeah, it did work for a time. It did work for a time. And then back then too, you had opportunities like Def Poetry Jam or, Verses and Flow, because those people who did Def Poetry Jam and Verses and Flow, like some of those top names, that's exactly what they went on to do. That's exactly what they went on to do. Preston Powell, he was, a Def Poetry Jam listed, and then he ended up writing for like Lexus and McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So did Sheehan. I was taking that game early. I took that game early. The moment I saw them doing that, I said, "Oh, y'all going over there? You want to know why? Because that's where the bag at. That's where the bag at." You kind of hope that you have opportunities like a Brandon Leak, you know what I mean, where you can make $1 million on the John, but like that, it was only one, that's far and few between. The first grant I ever won was for $100,000, and it was as a poet. They paid me $100,000 to quit my job and become a professional poet, and I've been doing it ever since. The moment that happened, these people they weren't funding poetry. That's not what they were looking for, but they found me. Yes, they weren't looking for me, but they found me. Because when I saw that grant, I was like, "Oh, this is me written all over it." And guess what my application was? A poem. Sorry, bird. I just scared the hell out of my bird. A poem. That's what my application was. Bar for bar. It was a poem. It was called Dreams. And I won. Everybody saw that. They was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yep." I gotta send it to you. So what do you do now? If you're not, why did you leave Do More, and what do you do now? Octavius, what's up? Welcome. I'll be on for a little bit longer, but I try to stream every night, either to go over opportunities that people got going on, giving some gaming, giving some advice, and also just like practicing this like off the cuff energy, depending on what people are doing right now. Oh, that's fire. I'm literally building a product just for you. I am literally building a product just for you. I started, so I run a consulting, you're funding a short film. Talk to me about it. Let me see if I can help you. I charge clients for this game, but you're on my live, so talk to me nice about what you got going on. Yeah, this is it's okay, Burr. This is what I'm building. Is it better this way? I'll do it this way. This is what I'm building. Stories that make funders say yes. We use data-informed storytelling to craft narratives that move people to action, because the purpose of our words is to make people feel. That's what it is. The purpose of our words is to make people feel. So yeah, I just started doing this. Neurointelligence, by the way, is the prompting system and the like logic and reasoning that I use to create the dashboards. I'm working on getting it trademarked because I'm like, yo, this is what it is. So narrative intelligence is this idea. Narrative intelligence is a bigger thing, but narrative intelligence in and of itself is just like how I absorb large amounts of data, but I synthesize it the way that I synthesize it through my feelings and how I feel like this is supposed to feel. Hi, Miss Parker. Welcome. Greetings. Nice to see you. I have so much more energy today. But yeah, tell me about your short film, Octavius, so I can see what's up. I see what's up. But that's what I started doing that, but to TBH, that's the reason why I ended up. I don't know. I have I started doing this because really all my content really popped off like less than 40 days ago. Like I'm only like a month in for real, but I had systems, I had systems in play to kind of like catch it up. But what I will say though is that I don't know how long I'm gonna do consulting, because I'm good at strategy. I'm good at talking to people and figuring out like, okay, where is the story? How can we analyze it? How can we determine where the thing is? You could probably tell that's what I put into the dashboard. but I don't necessarily know if I want to like one-to-one with people. Maybe not now, because I also have to understand how to value myself. Because I currently, prior to like everybody like, finding out about my content, I was my demographic was artists, freelancers, that's who was like my demographic. So they didn't have no money. They were coming to me like, how can I get money? You know what I'm saying? So uh that's not where the fun, the bread is at. The bread is gonna be if you got a nonprofit that got, the funding behind it. They going for foundations, or you go into like, venture capital, whatever the case may be. They got, it's just, the demographic. And it's also, it's there's a higher level of support, because if somebody, even the person who got the less money and no less, I'm gonna need to work more with them, versus the people who know that, like, all right, you're gonna have to submit 6 grant applications, not one. And you know what I mean? Like, your chances, you having a 30% rate is good. You know what I'm saying? In the standard, or if you get 50 or something like that, that's good. You know what I mean? You can't explain that to somebody who, like, is given they last to do something like that. So um I don't know if I want to do, I have to decide, like I have to figure out what the consulting is, but that's why I'm building the platform. Because building the platform means that I create a product that it automatically does it for people. You know what I mean? So that I'm not a part of that process. And then I'm gonna leave consulting high ticket, and leave that like directly to people who like, yo, I got my report, but I still want your brain. Because there are some people who are just like that. If they have like the money, they're gonna be like, well, I don't want to do any of it. I don't care what you give me to make the process easier, Queen. I just want you to do it for me. And them folk, I need to know. I need to see some people who doing grant consulting, because I was talking to somebody who was like, oh yeah, they paid like I think they said they paid $7,000 a month to have a grant writer like search and then do their grants or whatever. I'm like, 7 grand a month? What up, Craig? 7 grand a month to write the grants or whatever. I said, okay, let me carry the one, put down a 0. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason I said I don't know is because in my mind, if I put all that energy and effort into getting grants my damn self, I could probably try to walk, you know what I'm saying? I could walk away and then keep all of it. That was just the math on me. All right, let me look at what you got there. It's a short doc on a bull rider from right outside of Compton. Oh, you know what's crazy? I think I was saw Compton Cowboys. Is that a thing? I feel like I saw some kind of documentary about that. I don't know if it was on Vice or something like that. Okay. Looking to find some grants to pay for the hard cost. How much you need? How much do you need? I did not get your I didn't get your DM. But it's also because my DMs are just, it's a very difficult place to be. Like, cause everybody's in general, but like anybody who like requests anything from my, like when I say comment, that's where that goes. So the moment you send something is goodbye. It's over with. Okay, 35K. Have you ever gotten a grant before? I asked that because 35K is grant money, is the type of number you get if you've done it already. That's the kind of money that you get if you've done it already. And so here's my piece of advice for you. I'm not gonna get too heavy because people pay for these consultations, but I'm gonna get you, Octavius. All right, I'm gonna tell you a few things. One is that if you've never gotten this grant, if you've never gotten grants in the past, you're gonna have to explain why you have the capacity to hold that kind of money. Uh, I would suggest going for a smaller grant on your first go, because people need to be able to see in some way, shape, or form that you can handle this amount in order to do another amount. The other thing that I would say is that if you have not gotten grants before, I'm going to make an assumption. You correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to assume that that 35,000 is not budgeted. And by not budgeted, I mean you do not have a line by line budget to what you would spend it for. This is why I'm going to tell you why that matters. Because if you go to apply for funding, it's not just like you say a number, it's like what why this amount, like what's going to happen with this, what happens at the end of it, because they have to determine an ROI and they have to understand if it's reasonable. Fun fact for you, even if you've never done a grant before, I might put you on game. If you find a short film thing or whatever, and you find like and you like, yo, this is big money, I still want to go for it, and you've never gone for it before, the way that you're going to be able to prove that you can handle it is going to be completely on the effort that you put into the application. If you put a lot of effort in that application, you have a better shot. I'm not saying it's going to be, but you got a better shot. What I mean by that is that, like, let's say like you're going for that budget, your budget needs to be the greatest one that they've ever seen. And by ever seen, I mean like itemized down to the thing. Maybe, you reached out to different venues. You got, support from, this place that's willing to give you a letter. And you got this, like it needs to, the whole purpose of the grant application is for them to be able to understand that you like already have momentum and that you, are invested in whatever it is you're building, because everybody wants money. There's no shortage of people being like, oh, I want to shoot a film. How much you want? Give me 30 grand. Like, there's no shortage of people doing that at all. We all want money. They know that everybody wants money. That's why they created a grant program. So they have to be strategic about who they give the money to, because everybody wants it. And if everybody is coming like that, like I do, like what I do in terms of the poetry, you have to put yourself in a position to not be like anybody else. If they go through 50 applications, you need to make sure that you're stick out, because everybody did their budget in an Excel sheet or something like that. You made your whole budget, but it also came with a one pager justification line by line. Like, you put all the numbers in, but then you created a one pager that described where you was going to do everything and how this is going to look. And I'm not saying that it is going to be easy, but that level of effort is going to make them look like, yeah, you want somebody to read your grant application and be like, yo, I gotta give him the bread. I gotta give him the bread. But let me pull up a grant just for the bubbles and giggles. A short film grant, because I actually think I might have one. I actually think I might have a short film grant. There's not a shortage of those. I would either look in I would look for grants, and I would also look for labs. I see labs a lot for films. And labs are opportunities where it's like, right now you're saying like, oh, I want money to make it happen. But you also got to think too, what would you do with the money? And then whatever you would do with the money, I would advise you to also find where how you can do it without money. So like, let's say you wanted that money because like, oh yeah, you're going to need people, you're going to need, support, you're going to need whatever systems or whatever. There are film labs. Excuse me. Do you have to go to the bathroom? There are film labs that you could sign up for where they would help you get the resources that you need. It may not directly be money. You know what I'm saying? It may not directly be like they give you, the money, but you can achieve the goal. That's another thing too. I apply to so many things that, like, yesterday I was up until almost 2 a.m. applying to a tech accelerator in Austin, Texas. I would have to fly myself to go to Austin, right? And there was no money associated with it. But the reason why I'm applying for it though is because it's a 10-week accelerator program, and I really want to build this product. So I told myself that I was like, all right, if I invest, okay, cool. Let's say I invest the flight there or whatever. I gotta stay in Austin or whatever. But not only do I get the network, like the accelerator had the legal assistance, marketing, and it was an entire network of funders. It was like I was going to get all of the resources I would need, and I have to put up a little bit of my own capital to get there. I said, nah, I'm doing this, because I went to go trademark the stuff for my business, and the lawyer alone was going to cost me like $2,500. Lawyer alone was going to cost me $2,500. I said, if I was going to pay $2,500 to a lawyer, I could just use that money, fly myself back and forth from Austin, meet a whole new group of people, and then now I'm going to be in their network. And mind you, they're a business accelerator. That's exactly who I need to use my product. So they're going to have my customers, they're going to have my network, and they're going to give me all the resources that I need right here, right now. So I'm not looking, in this scenario, I'm not looking for money. If they give me money, I'd be happy though. We can't, let's not deny bread here. But like, good old Uncle Charlotte always says, some people don't realize opportunity unless there's a paycheck attached to it. Not here to preach to you, but let me see if I can find something for filmmakers, because I'm going to be helpful while I'm also being I'm going to be helpful while I'm also being honest with you about what this looks like. Okay, so there's a bit of context here. I don't know if you're still inside of the room, but if you are, I'm gonna need a bit of context, because that's another thing too, because I just found one, but it was like, oh, you got to be between 13 and 18 years old. That's the thing about grants. People will ask me and they'll be like, yo, can you find me a grant? I'm like, do you know how specific a grant is? You know how specific grants are? Like this, I literally just found, like, there's a grant here for Black people in the circus. You know what I'm saying? You know how specific a grant is? You'd be like, okay, is there grants for film funds or whatever? I'm like, yeah, but like, you're not supposed to look for that. You're supposed to look for the thing that, oh, he should have did I don't know if he's still around. I think NAACP got one. Adobe got a fellowship where you literally, but your film has to be related to social justice. I think that was what the caveat was. I don't know if that was what he had going on. So yeah, I don't even know if that person stayed around, because was I harsh? I was honest. I am so honest. The level that I got for you, you know what I'm saying? Because I wish people would have told me this. I'd have saved so much time on grant applications. I really should actually go make dinner. I say make dinner. It's 11:11. It's 11:11. This is madness. This is madness. I don't have a stage name. My name is my name. Queen of Bergen. Or if they call me up on stage, I just want them to like make the syllables at the end longer. Like, coming up, Queena. Like, that's you ain't gotta use the last one. You could drop the last one. You could be like, all right, on deck, we got John Hurst, but coming up on stage, Queena. I love that. Let that, I need that John all the way out. I want you to pull that out like a fruit roll up. You know what I'm saying? I want you to say that until I get to the stage. That's what I want. You know what I mean? That's the type of time I'm on, But yeah, that's what that's what it is. It's Queen of Bergen. If you go over to like YouTube, but I also have poetry on my Instagram, all this grant stuff is at the top, but the poems is there. And poems is there. You can find me on YouTube. I got a TED Talk. I did a TED Talk. That was a poem. It's a TED poem, I guess. And so, yeah, just my name is my name everywhere, by the way, too. So, yeah, but that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing. Oh, that's crazy. I literally just found. You know what? I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know if they're still in here, but I'm gonna show it just because I'm also recording the live. Oh, I think you are in here, Octavius. Boom. All right. This one has an entry fee in it, but I'm gonna show you this one. This is the Roy W.D. short film grant for narrative short films that are unique and make a contribution to society. Right. So this one is open to filmmakers from any country. Winner receives a check for $3,000 and then $15,000 in services and discounts, free consultation to review application. It has to be narrative, have to be under 40 minutes. They don't really look like us though. Let me see what's going on here. Also, tell me too, like how old you are, where you are, because I saw another one that was, but you had to be between 18 and you had to be under 18. You had to be under 18. That's what you had to do. And then I think there was also a let's see here, filmmakers, yeah, 83 and 87. Hold up, I think I got two more for you. So jot these down. And then where you are matters too, because I know you're going to be doing a documentary about people in California, but the other thing is like where you are, because like there's grants for people in, you know, Ohio or Virginia, you know what I'm saying? So, and how you identify too. That's why I tell people to do the identity map. If you don't know who you are, it's going to be very difficult to find funding, because almost guaranteed you're going to be looking at a very specific place, and it's going to limit your worldview. Can you help people get grants to bring you to their city? What do you mean? Can you help people get grants to bring you to their city? Like me to them? No, why wouldn't I? Don't. I think that's what you're saying. I wouldn't do that. You just gonna have to pay me. I wouldn't do that. You just gonna have to pay me. That sound like labor. You know. Yeah, for sure, Octavius. There's a lot of stuff on films. But like for a first time film, like even this is why I said this is a oh, I didn't even you can't even see it. I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that. Queena, how you gonna show these people the grant and you ain't even, because I had the whole grant up here. I was like, wait, what? This is why I gotta look at this. But this one is this one is, but see, this is what I mean by that, because it's like this is a grant the grant program for film, and it's for $3,000. And that the people who won it maybe have already won grants before. So it's like that's why I say that the price is also going to have to, like, you know, like how can you do it? You know, if you were to get $5,000, well, how can you make it happen? But I don't do any grant writing. Not right now. Not outside of my own self. Not outside of my own self. And I don't know if that, like, that's not really, it's not that I'm not, clearly I'm pretty, I do great for myself. But it's because I know my story. Right? Like I know my story better than anyone in the world is going to know my story. So when I go to write, I'm like, yo, I know how I'm gonna like position this John or whatever. Or like I know like what I've written in the past that really worked, and like I'm gonna use that to my advantage. Like I'm that type of writer. But I've had people DM me recently since I started, like, you know, creating content and stuff, and people would ask me, be like, yo, like, would you write for me or would you do something for me? I'm like, nah. And it'd be like, mind you, they'd be like, oh, there's a $75,000 grant. Like, you write it and I'll give you 10%. No, no. What happens if you lose? He's like, oh, but I thought you was good at grant writing. Do I look like if hypothetically, if I believe that I have a 100% success rate and this is $75,000, why don't I just apply for it myself and leave you out the equation? Why? Why? If the logic sits well, that like, oh yeah, like, no, I'm definitely gonna get this. So I'm gonna do all of the work to get it, and then I'm going to give you like 90%. That's bad math. That's bad math. I don't do no grants or commissions or whatever, but I have worked with people where it's like I'll just write the grant and they'll, you know, make a percentage. And I've had even people like where it's like, you pay for, you pay for getting it written, but then also like a commission of the actual grant. But like that's kind of hard to do. At least from my understanding, I haven't done it at all because again, I don't write for other people. I've just had like the conversations with other folks. But I feel like that's hard because what happens if they get the money? You know, like if the money goes to them directly, that's too much trust. Mm-mm. I grew up in a Caribbean household. We don't do that. This is too much trust. Can't do that. No, son of mama, can't do that. You know, but let's see what grants we got going on. This is a website that I'm on that they have grants. This is called Grants for Creators, and they have opportunities every month. But right now, grant season is about to get slower. I don't know if this is the same case with you, Monique, but like there's seasons for grants, and I feel like it's been probably not on the foundation side. I don't really know about the foundation because I'm usually doing the individual stuff, but a lot of this is like there isn't a ton of opportunity for me right now, unless I did that freelance grant. All right, cool. I think have I made it? Yep, I did mine. Yeah, I did my time. Sorry, zoned out right quick. I have my 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, and that's definitely what is going on at this moment in time. So I think yeah, I'm only going for pitch competitions right now. Pitch competitions and accelerators so that I can build the product. I'm really trying to do something where I can, I could take myself out the equation. I want to take myself out the equation. Like, I don't want my business to rely on my energy. I am neurodivergent. You feel me? Like, what, my emotions be going from left to right. No, I can't do that. I can't do that, So I really want to do something where it's like, even if I'm not here, even if I'm not like, answering the calls or doing or whatever, bills is paid, things are sustainable, it's working, and I really do feel like I got a good idea to do that, right, baby? You think it's a good idea? Mama's gonna get you a lot of seeds once this thing takes off. You're gonna have all the seeds you want. She's tired. That's what she's doing right now. She's falling asleep. But guarantee you, the moment I take her off of this John to bring her inside the crib, she is going to she's gonna act like she got all the energy in the world. Again, toddler. I'm talking about you. That's your problem. I'm talking about you. Cause she knows. The moment that happens. So yeah, I'm focused completely and totally on pitch competitions and accelerators, which I think there was an accelerator program that I should have looked at. I think it was called G Beta. Cause I'm in Philly. By the way, I was on New Jeru, by the way, too. I was New Jeru Slam champion 2024. 2024 I did New Jeru. Yeah, 2024 New Jeru Slam champion. So it was me, Roddy, Rashad Wright, Theron, and John. You feel me? We was outside. Yeah, we went to Soul Fried. I was like, yeah, I want to do a Soul Fried. So I worked hard that year. I worked hard that year. Okay, so this one is an accelerator program. It's a free 7-week accelerator to build your company, meet mentors, and pitch investors. I think I'm going to apply to this because this one is in Philly. And I'm about to apply to a lot of these because they also, even if they don't have money, again, they offer a lot of resources. So maybe some of like the tech stack or some of like the things that I was going to use to build the product, I'll be able to get included, right? So as an example, oh wait, hold up. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. I'm learning the whole streaming thing. Where it's like I'm not actually showing you guys what I'm doing here. But yeah, so 7-week accelerator. It's pretty diverse, so that already tells me I'm gonna be in a good situation. Debater runs multiple times every year. Wait, why am I reading this? Why am I reading this as if I don't have an entire software system to solve for that? You see my brain? I'm not even I have an entire software to solve for this. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Boom. Copy and paste the URL. And I'm gonna learn about it. Give me back the data. I'm so, you know what it is? I'm like, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to feel old with this generation. And what I mean by that is that because I have done things a certain way for so long, my brain almost like says to myself, it's easier to, do it the old way or the way I'm, aware of than it is for me to do the others. Obviously, not an accurate statement. Obviously not an accurate statement, but while it's developing that dashboard, I'm gonna just go through this real quick. Because I think there's multiple programs here. Oh, their website is kind of for an accelerator. Because the other accelerator program was nice. I gotta show you guys that one. That one looked good. This one, this is hopefully my system got the juice to make this happen. Apply to an upcoming. Oh, there's multiple of them. Yeah, because I think that this is the one I was gonna apply for. April 19th. All right, let's see what the application looks like. Green Bay, Red Rock, Marshall Center. Prosper Golf. Oh, nah, this ain't got nothing to do with me. None of these do. All right, let me see what this application look like. Okay, description. Describe your business in 3 to 10 sentences. That's an interesting range. Oh, you saw my poetry. Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Nah, I'm nice. I'm really her. I'm really her. But I've been writing I've been writing poetry for a very, very long time. So it's one of those things where it's like, part of the essence. Although it's crazy because like I identify as a poet wholeheartedly, but I'm not writing often. And by often I mean barely at all. I'm writing lines of code at this point right now, or I'm writing grant applications. Like I use my poetry in other ways. But okay, so we have describe your business in 3 to 10 sentences, industry. Okay, keywords. Please select up to 15 keywords that further describe your business. Do you have customers, generating revenue, traction? May include revenue generated in the last month, revenue generated lifetime of your company, monthly generated. Funding to date, currently fundraising, team, website, full-time employees, competitors, program goals, biggest challenges, pitch deck. Okay, so I'm gonna need a pitch deck, an executive summary. I think I have everything here. Like when I tell you I think I have every single one of these already done, except an executive summary. What does that mean? Like I know what it is, but like, is it like a one pager? Because if it's a one pager, I have one of those too. Like I don't know what because I've used executive summaries like for like the first page of a proposal or something like that. But is that like, if it is a one pager, then I think I have everything for this, which is the other benefit of applying to opportunities so many times. is that I did this is everything that the other accelerator needed. This was everything that they needed. In fact, like people this. When I tell you this is like all of it. This is all of it. This is all of it. Boom. That was it. Literally the whole deck. The whole deck. The problem with the businesses. This is the business description. They said 3 to 10 sentences. I already got that. You know, this is the cost, which is gonna change, by the way. This is blasphemy right now. The competitive analysis, so the competitors that they had going on. The traction. I don't have because the product isn't available right now. It's and this isn't gone up too because I made this last night and now we have over 100 people who signed up for the wait list when I opened it up. So yeah. Yeah, all of that is already here. And then why now? This is a big one. Most people don't include that, but like again, something like this, is there a place where I can include? Okay, so I could do a pitch deck right here. Because I could do the pitch deck, I'll put in the screens that I'll put in the other screens that I want to. Is there other place where I could put in a link? I could always put in a link inside of any of the responses. So some of these responses might actually get links. They might get links. They might even get a video. I do a lot of videos sometimes. Even if they don't ask for it, I'll do a video because it's one of my advantages. I can create content and I can shoot video, high quality video very quickly. So, you know, I use that to my advantage. And I tell that to other people too. If you got, you know, something going on. Oh, so that's what it is. 1 to 2 pages outlining your business or project. Really? I feel like I would just use my one pager and translate it. Okay, hold up, because I went so far into this. I didn't even, let me go to the dashboard now because, let me go to the dashboard. Did it generate? Yeah, it did. Okay. Where you at? Boom, put you right there. Shit, let's tab it. All right, let's learn about this. What is this? $0 to apply, 0 equity taken. Already starting off great. Already starting off great because I don't know if anybody was here earlier for the first one, but didn't look like that. Okay, 0 equity, charge 0 fees, is completely free to participate. It makes it one of the lowest risk, highest leverage opportunities available to any early stage founder. The only cost is 46 hours per week for 7 weeks. That's great because one thing I got right now is sweat equity. There is no downside. The question isn't whether to apply, it's which location and cohort makes the most sense for win grants right now. Okay. Now this is going to probably give me insights about my fit, and it's going to do that because it understands the product, which is what I want the product to ultimately do. Zero equity, this is a free resource with no downside. Explicitly, let me make this bigger for you guys so that I don't know if that helps or if the other side was bigger. I don't know. We'll see. Stated goal is that it graduates. Have a good night. Have a good night. I'm about to join you. I'm gonna leave here, grab me, you know, maybe something to eat, and then head to bed. I wanted to build my Legos, but tomorrow is another day because I'm not doing any social tomorrow. Okay, so 25 plus investor swarm is the most valuable week. Curated one-on-one pitches with real investors. Oh, nice. 25 angel investors, VCs, and accelerators, both locally and nationally. This is not a pitch night with a crowd. These are individual investor meetings arranged. Oh, that's fire. High value. Okay. Location matters. Each beta has different industry focus. Oh, well, it works out because Pennsylvania is where I was going. I don't think it knows I'm in Pennsylvania. It's crazy. You got everything about me, but not there. I don't think I ever told you where I was. Win grants means choosing the investor and mentor network most likely to understand a grant intelligence SaaS product. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. 30-minute mentor introductions across 6 weeks. The network is the product. Mentor swarms bring in 5 new mentors every week for 6 weeks, approximately total. Okay, for Win Grants, the relevant mentors would include nonprofit sector veterans, SaaS founders, and edtech investors, all of whom would have insight into the grant intelligence market. Nice. Yeah, because also too is that like I'm building the product currently for a like for a solopreneur, like in my lens and how I would look at things, but I do want to bring this to a nonprofit and be like, how can you can get value of this? Not guarantee investment and will not pitch on your behalf. We'll show you the path, but it's up to you to make the journey and get the funding. Okay, so the perks, IBM Cloud, uh, Amazon AWS credits, PayPal for business tools, Zendesk, HubSpot, Microsoft. Okay, so we have program kickoff, 2 1-hour team meetings per week. Lunch and learns, an investor swarm. 2 hours. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Program showcase, live pitches, and networking. They have 25 locations. And then it's recommended that I go. Okay, so that was the one I was going to go, is the one in Pennsylvania. Are the strongest fits for Win Grants, giving their SaaS friendly investor ecosystems and access to nonprofit and education sector networks. Indiana's industry specific tracks, AI and tech, may also be relevant. Apply to the location where the investor and mentor network most closely matches the grant intelligence, SaaS, and civic tech. Okay. Annual impact, who they select, early stage company with real product or clear MVP, coachable, open to feedback and multiple perspectives, raising capital is on the radar, even if not immediately, already selling or ready to scale sales reasonably. Okay, responsive and fast paced, can commit to programming, can discuss business openly, not everything proprietary. Oh, interesting. Committed to 85 to 100%. Okay. Have an idea through I have an idea through to I have seen most companies are post product pre-scale. Interesting. So they've already been made, but they haven't been making money yet. All industries, some locations have specific verticals. Solo founders and small teams both accepted, not accepted first time. Apply again. They encourage reapplication. Okay. Talent leaving the Midwest and coastal cities. Oh, they got a problem with that. Build a startup ecosystem outside of San Francisco and New York. Create jobs and economic impact in underserved markets. Ooh, great. Pipeline great companies into the full generator investment program and prove that world-class startups can be built anywhere. Founders who show up fully and use their network aggressively, companies that go on to raise real capital post-program, alumni who become mentors and give back to future cohorts, and diverse founders across race, place, and gender. They have high risk tolerance because they accept products that are in the idea stage, and then no equity risk, multiple cohorts per year, and reapplication is encouraged. All right, where's my strategic instruction? It is telling me to lead with the market size and the coachability signal. G Beta selects founders who are serious about growth, responsive to feedback, and focus on building toward investment. Your application should demonstrate that you know your market deeply, have a clear path to revenue, and are actively looking to scale, not just validate. Show the $650 billion grant network, the intelligence gap, and your methodology. The narrow intelligence concept on your own grant winning backstory are your differentiators. Don't undersell either. Whoa. Okay. All right. So give me some more strategic insights. All right. So why G Beta makes sense for Win Grants? It makes sense because of zero equity. All right. The investor swarm is going to be helpful. And this part of the strategic analysis. This is on fit now, right? Because I kind of want to understand, why would I want to do this? You know? And that's why I be telling AI, like I literally get to a point where I'm just like, all right, yo, I'm going through this whole thing. All right, cool. It's going to take me, I don't know. Let's say it takes me a day or 2 days to write the application. Why would I want to do this? All right. So I'm going to get some coaching. I'm going to get the investor swarm. I'm going to keep all my equity. It's not a lot of time, but I'll be able to, like, they're going to be a direct pathway to a network. If I can make money on the raise, is it worth the, because it's 7 weeks, let's say it's at 7 weeks at the 6, It's 40 hours. Let's round it up. 40 hours. Would I invest 40 hours for the opportunity to make, I'll probably say go on first round because it's idea stage. I'll probably definitely be off of MVP though, but I'll probably be looking more like 50K because right now I'm going for pitch at 25,000. We'll see. All right, so what to watch? Choose the location. I already did that. They don't pitch for me. Nonprofit sector mentors are less common. Okay, I'm not nonprofit. Some location cohorts are industry specific, time zone. All right, nah, I think we solid. Okay, bottom line, it has zero risk accelerator path available to win grants at this stage. The investor swarm alone with the curated one-on-one meetings is worth the 7 weeks, and I agree. And I feel like it knows I agree because it used my logic to get here. He's like, nah, it's worth it, man. I mean, no, but it's also based on, by the way, too, because this logic is also based on what I believe is of value, right? So in a lot of relation, if the fact that I'm getting $1 million in perks is going to account for something for me, where somebody else who's like, I only want money. And if you don't give me money, I see no value in this. They will probably look at this and feel another way about it. But I'm hoping, because technically, since it is kind of, my thoughts in here, I'm hoping that I can influence more people to take more opportunities in places that they wouldn't. So here's some words I got to include inside of my application in order for it to resonate: investor readiness, coachable, traction, market size, job creation, venture capital, revenue model. These are some words that I should avoid. So anything relating to lifestyle businesses. I usually have narrative structure in here too, but it looks like this one isn't in here. But narrative structure is just more like it's gonna give a bit of a deeper understanding on the words to avoid. That's kind of what I use it for, because it's not just that you want to avoid certain words, but you want to avoid ideas that signal things that aren't going to match the funder either. All right. So if like they are like if like a confidential idea. So even though it may not like don't directly say confidential idea, but if in your application you also suggest that we use a thing that has like, which we can discuss under NDA, it may not be exactly confidential idea, but they're immediately going to flag the same concept. So there's a narrative approach that I have coming in the MVP, so that there's that other side to it where it's like, all right, it's not just like verbatim. I'm telling you not to say these words, but I need you to not say the things that these words make people feel, because that's what this is. That's what all of this is. It's like, what words make people feel these things, and you need to put together words that make people feel what you want them to feel. That's that. Organize it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bird. Scared the mess out of her with my little fly sound. All right. I really appreciate everybody who's on Twitch, because I am live right now on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So I appreciate every single person who has joined the live thus far. I recognize that it is midnight. I am going to turn off my alarm and wake up when God tells me to. All right. I really appreciate you for joining me. I typically go live. I don't want to say every night, but the weekend comes up, so I don't usually go live over the weekend or really do much of any social on the weekend, just so that I can reset. But yeah, check out the content that I got. Join the wait list for win grants. That's in the link in my bio. If you're on the other platforms, that is wingrants.io. Wingrants.io. You click on that and you'll be able to join the wait list. The more people I get on the wait list, this is what I'm gonna do when I go to pitch. When they say, yo, you got traction, I'm gonna be telling them like, yo, I got people who are on the wait list right now that want access. I just need to get this thing built, and I really need your help. We could do something incredible together. Right. So wishing you all the best of luck. It was great connecting to you as well. Great connecting to you as well. All right. Everybody have a good rest of your night.